If I started a fencing company in 2026, this is how I would rank them to number one. So, first thing I would do is I would do some keyword research. There are some great free tools that Google provides. This right here is the Google Ads Tools Keyword Planner. And then over here is Trends, Google Trends. And so the first thing I would do is I want to know the keyword I want to target. Finding out what people are searching for the specific services that I'm offering is the most important step. If you are targeting a keyword no one searches for, you're not going to get any traffic. So all of that effort is just going to be wasted time. Not only do we need to target keywords that are going to get traffic, we also need to be targeting keywords that are going to be converting people for my specific service. If I am a fence company, I want to have fence related keywords that convert for my specific service. If I start making fence related content, let's say I made a blog on my website that targets a fencing guide, then what I'm going to get is traffic for that fencing guide. Now, if I target fencing company in Gulf Breeze or fencing company near me, those keywords are what's going to get me to convert traffic on my site to actually have people that are buying my services. So what I'm going to do is when I'm starting this fencing company is I'm going to do some research on Google Trends. I'm going to see what is currently being searched for and in what amounts. So the first thing I added in this Google Trends is fencing company. Then I did fence company and fence company near me, fence contractor, and another fence contractor. So when we're doing this, when we look at the Google Trends data, like right here in this graph, we're seeing all these lines, we're seeing all these numbers, right? One thing you need to keep top of mind in Google Trends specifically is this data it's showing you is in relation to the amount of times it's searched. So this does not mean that this word is being searched 92 times, right? Because we can see right here, we've got fence company 92. What that means is in relation to itself, it is currently at 92 of 100 from its overall search history. So what that means is that let's say over a whole year, right? Or for this example, let's do 5 years. For the past 5 years, the fluctuation of how many times this keyword is searched for, right now, it is currently searched for at 92 out of 100. I can't say 92%, but just think about it in relation to itself. So, right now, it's currently peaking. Then we also have fencing company, and then we also have fence company near me. So to me, I'm getting an understanding of this current data right now that I want to be targeting fence company as my top level keyword. Now this may change when we go to look at some other data, but currently that's the top level keyword I'm considering targeting. Some other things you can do in Google Trends is we can come down here and we can find these commonly searched queries. So right down here, we have all the keywords that I've searched up here at the top, and we can select them and get more data from Google related in relation to these keywords, right? So for fence company, we have fence company near me. We've got the fence company, fencing company, right? So then what I like to do next is I will search this top level keyword we found in the keyword planner in Google Ads, because this is going to give me actual search data, like average monthly search data. This is just getting us a very broad paint stroke or a paintbrush stroke to give us an understanding or an idea of what we want to be targeting. So as we can see here for the top level one, we've got fence company near me. We've got fence builders near me. Then we got Fence Co near me, which seems like this might be a brand name because this can happen quite often in these search, is that some keywords that will have a high search frequency could also just be a big brand name that I might just be unaware of, or you might be unaware of when we go in here. Then we also have fence installation near me, fence contractors near me, fencing contractors near me. And so from all of this data, we can get a better understanding of how people are searching. Now, I already had this lead gen site up for fence companies. So I already have a little bit of Search Console data of impressions from people's search queries and like when my website shows up. So someone searches in Google for fence company in Gulf Breeze, and then I already have some of the data from impressions of how often this is searched, because when someone searches for that, my website will appear, right? And so from all of this, not only the Google Trends, but also the keyword ad center planner and the Google Search Console data, I have a better understanding of what keywords to actually target. And so the top level keyword I would target is going to be fence company. Now, sometimes this isn't always the keyword you want to target that comes out that it's that easy to understand. Sometimes it takes a little bit more digging. But for this specific niche in this specific industry, this is the keyword I would like to target. Next, what I would do is I'm going to go and search the keyword in the city that I'm trying to target. So if I was trying to rank a fencing company in Pensacola, what I would do is search the keyword that I'm trying to rank for, right? Then I'm going to go look at the current Google business profiles. Some things I'm looking at are going to be the names of these Google business profiles. As we can see here, this profile has two keywords in it. We've got fencing, then we also have Pensacola. I'm looking at their top categories. I'm also going to look at their services. And so we can see what they are currently targeting, right? This is just going to give us a better idea. It's going to give us more service ideas. It's going to give us a better overall picture of what we need to be doing on our website. Then I'm going to go and look at their reviews. What I'm doing is Google is going to create these little bubbles right here. And what it's doing is it's going through all the review content and it's finding phrases or services that are occurring frequently, and it's going to tell us right here. So as we can see, we've got fencing company, we've got competitive pricing, quality of materials, efficient crew, quality fence. So Google specifically found fencing company from all this review content. So that's going to give me more confidence. That is the keyword I want to be targeting. And also, this is going to give me some more ideas of the copy or the text I want to place on my website for my ideal customers on how I want to convert them, right? So by looking at the review data, I can get a better understanding of what people are looking for. When someone goes to leave a review, they're leaving their perspective of the interaction and of the service. I can take from that review content and get a better understanding of how they would search for the service, because they're going to use the same wording and the same phrasing of how they think. But not only that, I can take the negative reviews and I can figure out, okay, what is really important for this service. Then I can target those specific pain points in the copy on my pages so I can convert better. So this is another profile we're going to look at. And what we're looking at is just seeing all of the different keywords, the different keyword variations, the different services that they're listing on the profile. And so after that, next we're going to look over the reviews again. So new gates, that's a new keyword. We got fence building, fence appearance, fence removal. We got privacy fence replacement. So we're already starting to pick up more services and more keywords of some things we need to consider targeting. So then we go down here, more Google reviews. So we got fence removal, okay. Gate replacement, okay. And we're still just in the gathering information phase. We're just still trying to get an understanding of what is currently ranking, what is Google kind of putting together about this specific topic, what are people currently ranking doing, right? Like what are they doing on their business profiles? Okay, they have got gutter installation, which is interesting. We're going to look over their services. Notice how they don't have as many services, but the other Google business profiles have more services and they're ranking a little bit higher. Not saying that's a causal, but it's just something to be aware of. Also, this Google business profile has a link to their Facebook page instead of their website, so that's something we can easily beat them on. Okay, so then we're going to look at one of the websites. We're just going to get an understanding of how are they currently setting up their sites, what are they currently targeting as their keywords, what are their current services. So we got fence installation, new construction, we've got wood, chain, vinyl, and aluminum. When I was looking over this site, what I really like about this is that this is another instance in which what we can do to facilitate getting good interlinking, getting keywords on the page, is what I like to do is I don't want to remove the experience of the customer's journey or the customer's experience on my website. And so what I'll do is I will have these little or sections, rather like templates or cards on my site that will hide as a strategy. We will place the content that we need to get on page in ways that won't remove the user's experience. So as an example here, this site does something very great, very good. They have a whole bunch of service areas and locations. Now, if they weren't to have it in this accordion, this would just be a wall of spam to their customer's experience. But because they placed it in this accordion so that they can get all the links on page, so they've got proper interlinking structure. Now, if they wanted to get more words on page, they could also place in this little accordion common conversations had with our customers. And then they could address specific pain points, specific questions on page, but not have it be like a skyscraper article that takes away from the customer's experience or journey. So not only can we get that information for Google to see on page, we can get all of that information that will help us rank because we got a whole bunch of more word count, more keywords, more text. We can start bolding some specific words in there. And we can also do like what they're doing is get all of these links on page so that we have proper interlinking structure. And then this is another profile we're going to look at, and we can see that Google is putting a specific emphasis on these words or these keywords, what I would consider. And again, we got fencing company, fence gate replacement, we got quality fence, backyard fence, metal gate frames. We're going to look at another profile, privacy fence replacement, solid fence building, timely completion, fence removal. We got all of these different things that Google thinks is relevant. And so we need to be considering this for how when we go to target a specific keyword or structure our pages or the services that we need to be targeting. So we also have another example here of fence removal, chain link fence, gate replacement. And then, so when I'm going to go build a website to rank as a fencing company, what I first will think about is how do I want the structure of my site to look? So one of the first things I'm going to start off with is my URL structure. When you go to create your URL, what you need to make sure is that whether you select www or non-www. So as this example, my domain is golfbreezefence.com. If I select it with no www, it needs to stay consistent across all of my pages. So when I say it needs to stay consistent, what I'm saying is when you do all of your links on page, your internal links, right? So when you go to link to one of your services right here, right? This little link needs to stay the same URL structure. So mine does not have www. There's no www in my domain. So then on all of my links on page, there is no www. For my canonical tags, for my any of my links, there is www. Then, so let's say I go and I start creating social, right? I start creating my social profiles on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Threads. What matters is that link, that URL structure I set up has to remain consistent. So on all of those social profiles or anything linking back to my website, any press releases I do, any citations I go build, the links on my Google Business Profile, the links on my social profiles, any link pointing back to my website needs to have the same URL structure. None of those can have the www. What happens is that if you go and put www, Google is going to go find those URLs, think that those URLs are active, and if you don't have proper server config files set up to redirect any traffic going to the other version of your URL. So let's say that you had www.yourdomain.com and all of your links did not have the www. Google is going to go crawl those social profiles. Google is then going to ping that URL, come crawl it, and all of a sudden now you have two versions of the identical same content. You basically have two websites. Google sees the www version of your website, and then it sees the non-www version of your website. So all of a sudden you have two identical websites. Now, what happens is that Google is going to punish Google is going to punish your site because you have identical content. What can also happen is if you don't have proper HTTP or HTTPS SSL certifications set up, not only can you then have the www and non-www version, you can have a HTTP and an HTTP www. Basically what I'm saying is you can have 4 different versions of your site that Google is coming to ping and seeing, okay, why are all these pages the same? Why are all these pages identical? There's 4 versions of this website, and it's just going to tank your rankings. Next, when I'm going to rank this fencing company, I'm going to, first things first, is I'm going to buy a press release. Why I'm going to buy a press release is because 90% of local SEO, when you go and look at your competitors' websites, they're going to range between 0 press release backlinks and 1 press release backlinks. A press release is going to get you anywhere between 300 to 350 backlinks. 90% of local SEO, your competitors are rather going to have below that threshold. The times that they're going to have more than 300 backlinks are around 10%. So what we're going to do is we're going to first send that press release, because 9 times out of 10, we're instantly going to beat our competition. If we need more backlinks, let's say you're in a competitive environment where the average is 600 or more, what we can do is we can rather upgrade the press release service to where we get 750, or what we can do is, and around the 4-month mark, is we'll do another press release, but this time instead of targeting the homepage, what we'll do is we'll target one of your main top-level services you're trying to rank for. So we're going to send the first press release. The first press release is going to be all branded anchor text. it is not only going to link to your homepage, but it's also going to link to your Google Business Profile. Now, let me show you the correct link you want to be including when you link to your Google Business Profile. Is you want to make sure you're on the maps setting. You're going to want to make sure it's google.com/maps/place and then / and it should say the name of the company. So here we see Superior Fence. That's the link you want to include in your press release. Then when you go to fill out the press release, you want to embed your Google Maps. So we're going to go over here, we're going to go embed a map, and we're going to take this iframe, we're going to take this code, and that's also what you want to include when you go to send that press release off. Another thing is that we also want to embed this map on our website. So first thing, we'll send off that press release, all branded anchor text, has a link to our Google Business Profile, has all the code of the embedded Google Business Profile. Then that is going to take anywhere from rather 2 weeks to 4 weeks, maybe even 6 weeks for Google to find all those links, crawl those links, and then start giving you the authority from those backlinks. So next thing on my fencing company that I'm going to rank is I'm going to start the structure of the site with having these hubs. So one hub I always have across all my client sites is a service hub, a locations hub, and a blog hub. Now, when I say hub, what I mean is when you go to this page, it's going to have links to all of your services. Now, the reason why we want to have links to all of our services is because we're going to achieve what is called interlinking. And then we're also going to use interlinking to silo all of the relevance from those pages. Let's say there's 5 pages. Of all of these 5 pages, what we're going to do is there's going to be relevance to the top level keyword we're trying to target. And we're going to put content on those pages to then all link back to one money page that we want to rank. So on this hub, Google can come from the home page. It can crawl this page. It's going to crawl the navigation. It's going to find this link to our services hub. It is then going to come to the services hub. It's going to crawl this, and it's going to find all of these links. Once it finds all of this links, it's then going to crawl all of these. And then now it's going to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to find all 6 of my services pages. I'm never going to have an orphan page because if I do, then it is way less likely that it's going to get indexed. If you don't properly link to your pages, rather on page, through navigation, maybe somewhere in the body of the content and your sitemap. If you don't link to it, Google's never going to find it. Google's never going to have the opportunity to know that it's there. So always make sure that all of your pages are always linked to, no matter what, because what's going to happen is if you don't link to them, Google is never going to find them, or when Google does find them, you're not showing that it's important because you're not linking to it. So Google's less likely to index it. So then on these services pages, what you're going to notice is that they're all interlinking not only to each other, but we also have all of these links pointing to our money page. When we link to our money page, what we want to make sure that is happening is that we are using this anchor text. This is just the text that is being shown for when we click this link. That anchor text is going to be the keyword the page we're linking to is targeting. So we have all of these service pages and we're linking to Fence Company in Gulf Breeze, Florida. That's the top level keyword we're targeting. So all of these are going to have links to that. So we see right here, we've got 2 links. Then we also have a link to one of our other service pages right here. And this is also the anchor text of the keyword that page is trying to target. Scroll down here. We've got a owner card. We're just talking a little bit about the owner, Constantine. And so this little author card is also showing Google, okay, this owner is an authority figure in this service. Then down here, we have this little hub linking to the other fences or the other services that we provide, and also all interlinking to our money pages. We've got Fence Company in Gulf Breeze and Fence Company in Pensacola. For this site, we are targeting our location pages as our money pages. And for this site, we are targeting Gulf Breeze and Pensacola. So then that's the one service page. Then we got another service page down here. Same exact thing. All of this content on this page is going to show relevance. It's also going to show that we have what would be considered like topical authority. All of these pages we're creating on this site serve a very specific reason. So then we've also got images. We've got the owner card showing, hey, this owner owns this company, offers this services. And again, we're interlinking down here. So that's the second service page. Again, with this other service page that we have, we're interlinking right there in the anchor text. We're talking about the service. We're talking about pools. We're talking about all the things relevant to fencing. So if you have a fence around your pool, that's what we're talking about here. Down here again, we're interlinking. And this is what we just want all of this interlinking going on. So Google, when it comes by, can instantly grab all the URLs, knows that where we're trying to point these relevance and authority to our money pages. Next, we're going to go look at our locations hub. Now, for this fence company, we're only targeting 2 locations. So this is our locations hub. It's the same thing. We just want to make sure that we're properly interlinking everything so we make it as easy as possible for Google to come by and see all of our URLs. So we got Fence Company in Gulf Breeze, Florida. We've got an image. Then we also have some keywords, Fence Company. We also have Gulf Breeze Fence, which is the name of the company. So we're just talking. We got Tiger Point and Beach and Pensacola. This is adding geo-relevance. We're talking about the specific types of fencing that we offer, the material. We've got these bolded terms. So we're bolding these terms for ranking factors and showing that they're important to Google. So on this locations page, we also have linked to our other locations page of Pensacola. On this page, we don't want to link out too much because it is our money page. We want all of the authority and all the relevance pointing to this specific page to help it rank. And because of all the anchor text too that is matching our top level keyword we want to target, that's also going to help Google understand what this page is about, and it's going to help it push this for the keyword we're trying to target. So again, this is another locations page. We've got all of these internal linking. Okay. Then on our blog, the main reason you want to have a blog on your fencing company website is to add relevance. And what we also want to do is we want to have these attraction blogs so that we can give Google what would be considered geo-relevance or geographic relevance. And so a way we can do this is we can start talking about tourist attractions or restaurants or really anything that is geographic to the specific area or the specific city we're trying to serve. So when we come down here, we've got these things to do guides, and all of this, the whole purpose of this blog is to add geo-relevance to our site. Then, because this page is all about this very specific area, then we're also going to link that blog out to our very specific locations page we're trying to rank. So in this example, we're trying to rank fencing company in Gulf Breeze. So because I have all this relevance from Gulf Breeze linking to this fence company in Gulf Breeze page, this is going to help us signal to Google, hey, this area we serve is in Gulf Breeze. So this whole blog's page is just to tell Google, hey, these are things, this is the geo relevance of the areas that we serve. And see right here, we've got fence company in Gulf, this anchor text right here, fence company in Gulf Breeze, Florida. And then this is the same thing on our things to do in Pensacola, Florida. We have all of these things that you can visit, this geo relevance specific to Pensacola, to then link out to our money page to tell Google very specifically, hey, we are in this area. And as you can see, this anchor text is targeting the keyword of that page I want to rank. When I'm going to rank a fence company, what I will do is we're going to create a very verbose about page. The purpose of this about page is so that we can build this data or information about the owner. Why we do this is to show Google, hey, this owner does these things, right? Offers these services, rather if it's fence replacement, gate replacement. Not only that, how long they've been doing it. Then we can also include if they've graduated college, what college that was, what certifications do they have, if they're licensed, if they're bonded, if they have insurance. Not only that, then we can also go into the process of, in our schema, we can even talk more and more about the owner and get very verbose about their expertise. There's a very specific schema that helps tremendously with this, and it's knows about. So in the knows about schema, what we're going to do is we're going to link to knowledge graph IDs that Google has set. Not only that, we're also going to link to Wikidata pages. We're going to link to the Wikipedia pages. So by us putting in the schema knows about and then linking to all of these external pages that have all of this information that is relevant, it is also going to show Google our authority and our expertise on this very specific service this owner knows about. Get very verbose in all of this knows abouts, get descriptions on there, and we're just going to keep talking about the owner, what the owner has done. And so by doing this, we're basically just building more and more information so that Google knows about the owner. Now, if you have a team, let's say you have 3 to 5 other guys, you also want them on this about page and you want to build up their schema on your website as well. Now, for this example, we have Constantine, the Roman emperor, as a fencing contractor. And in this, we're talking about him. We're describing what he does, why he does it, everything he knows about. We also have multiple photos of him on the job. And so all of this about information is helping us build the owner's, what I would consider entity, or we're basically just building him his own profile for Google to understand more about him. We've got the person schema right here. We've got the name. We've got a description of him. He's the founder and owner. And then here we got this knows about. So we're going to link to all of this information that Google has these, what would be considered like a knowledge graph of. So we find these knowledge graph ID numbers. Then we also find the Wikipedia pages to help Google get relevance and more information about what we are and what we do, what we know about. As an example, so we know about fence, right? We know about picket fence, chain link fencing, synthetic fence, aluminum fencing, and electric fence, agriculture fencing. All of this is going to help us tell Google we are an expert at this. Look at all of this information. And then because we link out to these nodes or web pages of more information like Wikipedia and these knowledge graph IDs right here, right? We're just feeding Google more and more information about us. Also, we're going to link to our social profiles. So these same as schema, we're going to link to our LinkedIn, our Instagram, our X, our Twitter, or if we have a Pinterest, a LinkedIn. We also have these images. We're telling Google, hey, these images are of Constantine, the owner of this fencing company. Then, not only that, on our blogs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these author cards. And what this does is that it shows, hey, Google, all of this relevance, all of this information, this expertise, this owner knows about. This fencing company owner wrote these articles. And so we're continuing to build up more and more relevance and expertise and knowledge around this owner, Constantine. So when Google comes by and crawls these and sees, okay, who's the author? Oh, okay, the owner's the author. Oh, okay. So all of this relevance, all of this expertise, and all this knowledge, we're going to link back to the owner of this business, of this website. So for our on-page optimization for our services, we're going to use fence repair as an example here. What you want to do is you want to have your keyword you're trying to target as much as possible on page. So as we can see here, we've got fence repair. You also want it to make sure it's in your H1. It's pretty much the first thing on page that Google sees. So here we got fence repair for storm and everyday damage. We got down here again, fence repair. We got common fence repair. And then you got fence repair scenarios. Another thing is that on our page, our word count is 1,856. Now, to get an understanding of what should your word count be on page, you want to look at your competitors. You want to measure what they're currently doing, and then we want to be slightly better than them. So for our word page count, we targeted 1850. Then also on our on-page optimization, we've got fence repair. We've also got the area that we service. So look at these keyword variations and also these entities we've got. So we've got posts, we've got pickets, we got gates. Then we also have honest repair versus replace call. Looking through our heading structure, what we can see is that we have these fence repair covers, fence repair scenarios. We've got gate repair versus replace. Across this entire page, we've got these entities, which are just nouns. Then we also have these bolded terms. So how I will know to do the on-page optimization for this fencing company service page is I have a tool I will run, and from this, it will tell me all of the on-page optimization that I need to be doing. So it goes and searches the keyword I'd want to target, and it will run an analysis of all of these ranking factors that I need to start applying on page. And in these, what we can see is that I need variations. And what variations are is you take your top level keyword and you will find, let's take an example as you put a verb tense on it. So instead of fence, it's fencing company. And that would be considered a variation. Instead of fence company, it's fence repair near me. These are all variations of what would be our top level keyword. And in this report, you can see I'll need to do variations in my H1, my H2, my H3 tag. It's also saying that I need to have title tag. It needs to have entities. What entities are, they're the nouns. And basically, they're the nouns you would use in associations with fence companies. So like planks, boards, vinyl fencing, or like fence repair. And then you also need LSI words. And what LSI words are, whenever you talk about a topic, it's the common words that would be used in association with that. So the LSI words that I would use on this page are what we can see right here. We've got fence, you've got chain, fence company, vinyl, fences, aluminum, chain link, wood fence, link, wood, years. You got vinyl fences, fencing, aluminum fences. And then also the entities I would use on page. You've got fence wood, fences, fencing, vinyl, chain link, aluminum, warranty. And so taking all of this information and all of these variations and placing them on page is what's going to help us rank this service page to the top. Then it will grab the 100 results, so the 100 web pages that come into Google. Then it will measure all of these ranking factors that I need to do to optimize my on-page SEO. This is going to tell me everything I need to do on page to rank the page. It's going to give me, you can even see right here, you got leading variations. You got the variation of fence and H1 tags, LSI words and H4, entities and H2 tags, LSI words and H3 tags, leading variations through my H1 through H6 tags. It's going to measure every single thing those top 100 pages have. It's going to find what is correlating currently to what is making them rank. Why are they ranking? And it's going to tell me every single on-page optimization I need to be making. So then what I'll do is I will go through all of this, and first I will write the content. Then what we're going to do is you always want to do your keyword optimization last. So you want to go through, write all of relevant content. Then that afterwards, you start to add all of this SEO on page optimization. So we go through all of the entities in the H1 tags, variations in the H1 tags. Then you've also got entities in the title tags, all of these different on page optimizations so that we can rank that specific service in Google. Right here, we've got the word count. So I did this on a blank page so that when it goes to compare my current page to what is ranking, I will get an absolute result of everything that I need to do to build out this page. Because this is a new page, I now know from the base start of everything I need to do to rank this page. Then you've got the variations in the P tags. So P tags are just a basic HTML tag that will display content like a paragraph. So as an example, this is a P tag. And what this is saying is that in your paragraph tag, you need 68 more keyword variations in them. The one above is variations in HTML. So HTML tags are your H1s, your H2s, 3s, 4, 5, 6s. You've also got your P tags. You've got your listicle tags. Basically, the stuff that is making you able to see this content on page are HTML tags. And that is where you want to get all of these variations in to help you rank. Now, this is only one ranking factor of, as you can see, there's plenty. So when you go to rank as a fencing company in 2026, how I would do it is, first things first, we're going to do keyword research. So we're going to look at Google Ads, we're going to look at Google Trends, and if you already have a site up, then I would go look at your Google Search Console data to see everything of what is currently being searched for in Google. Then I would also place a keyword in my Google Business Profile name. You don't want to add the city or the state, in my personal opinion, because when you go to expand, it makes it a little bit difficult. Now, if you don't already have a keyword in your Google Business Profile name, what you can do is get a Google Business, you can get a do business as and file that with the state. So then you can go and change the name of your Google Business Profile to include a keyword. Another thing I want to touch on is that you can have multiple Google Business Profiles. And why you want to do this is so when someone is searching around your profile, the radius of a profile drops off around like the 4 to 5 mile radius. And so by having these two profiles, you can rank around both of them and get all of that traffic, and sell all of those people that are coming your services. Not only that, if someone searches in between both of your profiles, there is an instance in which you take up both of those locations on the search, right? So when someone goes and searches for a service, what commonly occurs is that three profiles will show up and you can take two of those. So you will get 60% of the traffic. So I would put fencing in my Google Business profile name. On my profile, I want to make sure every single possible field is filled out, right? So I want to have my website linked. I want to have my phone number. I want to list at least 15 services with each having their own service description. Then I want to also put a 750 character description on my profile. I want to go through all the attributes. If there's an appointment required, if you have a bathroom at your location, you want to go through every single possible field on your profile and fill it out. After I do all of that, I've got my website set up. I'm then going to go buy that press release. I want to make sure it's all branded anchor text. Then I'm going to start building out my service pages and my location pages. Make sure those are all properly interlinked. Next, I'm going to start building out the blog content, make sure that's all interlinked, making sure I'm using hubs for each one of those. Having all of that interlinked, make sure that we are linking those to our very specific money pages. We do not want to be linking out from our money pages because we want to point all the relevance and authority and all of those links to our money pages. We want to boost their rankings because those are the pages that will convert the most because we've already done our keyword research. So we already know that people are searching for those specific services or keywords more often. So we want those to be ranking number one, and we want our Google Business profile to be ranking number one. Then we want to do an on-page optimization on our service pages. For this specific tool that I use, what I can do is it will go through the top 100 results, and then it will tell me every single thing, every single ranking factor that I am lacking, that I need to optimize my page for. And then, yeah, that's how I'd rank a fence company in 2026.